Hey guys, welcome to Maz's Movement Minis. The idea behind these videos is we've spent about 10-15 minutes, short and sweet, focusing on a particular body part or body parts. And today we're going to be having a look at the hips and a little bit into the glutes and thighs as well. So let's get going straight away by making our way to our tabletop pose. Wrist, elbows, shoulders, one long line, knees underneath the hips. Let's check in with our hips before we start. So as we breathe in, we're going to reach our right foot up towards the sky, flex the toes. And then just start to bring any movement into this right hip that feels good. So you might be drawing big circles, you might be kicking the foot back behind. There's no right or wrong here, just check in with what you've got going on in your hip today. Keeping the breath flowing as you continue to explore. And then gently bring that knee back down. All right, we'll take this into some fire hydrants. So these are really good at getting those glutes switched on. So hands stay where they are. We're going to breathe in as we reach the right knee out to the side, flex the toes, and then we're going to breathe out and bring that knee gently back down. And we'll do that just 2 more times. So the breath in starts to lift the knee. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, point the toes, straighten the leg, and then the breath out gently brings it down. Good, last time here. Breathing in, lifting, maybe straightening, maybe not. And then gently bring the knee down. So you don't need to do too many of those to bring your awareness into the lower body. We're going to do just one more to take us into our next pose. I'm going to turn around, but you can stay where you are. So again, let's take that right knee out to the side. This time straighten the leg and place the foot flat on the floor. So here you want to make sure the little toe edge side of your foot is really pressing down, which will start to get a nice stretch on that inner thigh. From here, keep the right hand down onto the floor. Take a big breath in as you reach your left arm to the sky. Don't worry if it doesn't go very high. And then breathe out, soften the head, reach down through to the toes. We'll do that again. Big breath in, reach the fingertips to the sky. And then breathe it out, reach down and through. Good, one last time here. Really continuing to press into that little edge toe, sure, little toe edge side of the foot. And then gently come all the way back up. Help that knee come back in and shake it out. All right, if you need to come off the wrists for a moment, do that. And we'll do all of that on the second side. So again, wrists under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Breathe in, we're gonna lift that left foot up with us this time. And then we're gonna start to draw some circles with that knee. Bring that little bit of free movement into the body. As you do this, just start to compare this side to the other. Does it feel more spacious? Perhaps it feels a little bit tighter. Yeah. And then gently bring that down. All right, fire hydrant on the second side. Remember your option to straighten the leg if you'd like to. So breathe in, open the knee out to the side. And then breathe it out gently, bring it back in. Just 2 more rounds here. Breathe in, lift, option to straighten if you're taking it. And then breathe out, slowly soften it down. Last one, guys. Hopefully you're feeling this in the glutes and the inner thighs. I certainly am. And then slowly, come back. Give that a little wiggle. And then again, we've got one more. You stay where you are. We're going to take that left knee out to the side. Straighten that leg. And then bring the foot gently down. All right, so just like before, we're pressing into that little toe edge side of the foot. We're going to keep that left hand down. We breathe the right arm up to the sky. And then breathe it out, reach down through those toes. 2 more rounds. Breathe in, take that lift. And breathe out, reach it through. Last time. This should feel quite nice, a little release of that glute work we did in our fire hydrant pose. Good. And then come all the way through to center. Help that knee in and have another shake, another wiggle. Option to come off the wrist a little bit here. All right, so now we should be a bit more aware of our lower bodies. We're going to come up to our first downward facing dog. So spread the fingers, press into fingertips, backs of knuckles, tuck the toes, and start to take those hips high to the sky. And as it is the first down dog, if you want to bring a bit of movement in, a little bit of wiggling in, please feel free to do so. Pressing the belly back to the thighs, spreading the shoulder blades across the back. All right, and from here, we're going to take a big breath in as we reach our right leg up and back. Bend into the knee, opening your hip. Option to draw a few circles with that knee here. Again, just checking in with what's going on in the hips. If that doesn't feel good, just wriggle the toes. I'm definitely attacking my plant here as I do this. And then using the core, we're going to step that foot all the way through to the top of the mat. Give it a hand if it didn't quite get there, and drop the back knee down. You can pad up the back knee if needed, guys. All right, left palm stays on the floor. I'm going to take a big breath in as we reach the right arm up to the sky. And as we breathe out, we're going to bring our elbow on the inside of this bent knee. We're going to bring it as low as we can, and we should get quite a nice deep stretch in that hip. 2 more rounds. Breathe in, take the arm to the sky. Breathe out, elbow down towards the foot. One last time here, being sure to keep hugging that knee in rather than letting it open out to the side. Good, reach it up that one last time. And then bring the hand back down, good. All right, we're gonna take this into a wide-legged fold. So to get there, we're gonna tuck our back toes. I'm gonna start to turn to the side of our mats. Now you're going to stay there. I'm just going to quickly turn around. So you've just got my bum staring at you on the screen. But we're not staying in our fold. We're going to draw our heels in, toes out. Take a nice deep bend in those knees and start to lift up to our goddess pose. So goddess pose, knees point over the toes, press the feet into the floor. There's a tendency for the bum to stick out and back here. Really root that tailbone down, keep that chest lifted, and take the hands onto the inner thighs. Take a nice big breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to drop left shoulder down to right knee. I'm sure I call it elbow every time. And then bring it back up to center. Keep rooting down through those feet. And then breathe out, take it down to the other side. Really opening into those inner thighs. Bring back to center one more time here. And then start to straighten the legs. Ooh, shake that out again. That should fire up those glutes, those hips. And then we're going to turn the toes slightly in, heels slightly out, hands onto hips. Take a big breath in. Then keeping those legs active, start to hinge from your hips. So you have a nice long spine here. And then keep that going. Belly comes towards thighs. Maybe hands stay on legs. Maybe they can release down to the floor. And as it is our first wide leg fold, I always like to bring a little bit of movement in. So a little bit of sway from side to side. If the hands are struggling to meet the floor, you can come onto blocks or books even, or you can keep the hands onto the legs. Good, just a few more breaths here. Of course, if you don't want to move, you can stay still. Pressing belly back to thighs, head, neck is soft. Good, and then pause in the center. We're going to slowly start to turn back to our front foot. And we're going to step it back to downward facing dog. So back in your downward dog, pedal it out, wiggle it out. Notice how the body is feeling here. And then we will do all of that on the second side. So breath in, lift the left leg up and back. Knee bends so the hip starts to open. Maybe you draw those big circles with that knee. If that doesn't feel good, it's okay. Maybe just wiggle out the toes. Keep the belly pressing back, the hips lifted high. And we'll step that foot all the way through to the top of the mat. Give it a hand if it didn't quite arrive, and drop the back knee down. Padding if necessary, knees in line with that front heel. All right, right hand stays down this time. Take a breath in as you reach the left arm up to the sky. Keep hugging that knee in. And then breathe out, bring the elbow down inside. 2 more rounds. Breath in lifts you. Breath out draws the elbow towards the ground. And 1 more, guys. And don't be afraid if it feels a bit different on one side than the other. That is totally normal. We're often quite unbalanced in our bodies like that. 1 more breath. Lifts the arm back to the sky. And then we're coming back to that wide-legged fold. So hands come down. We tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and start to turn to the edge of our mats. Again, I'm just going to do a swift turn around. And we're going to come back to our goddess pose. So heels in, toes out. Keep a deep bend in those knees and start to press up again. So just check that elbows rooting down, belly button's drawing back to spine, chest is lifting you tall. Option to have a wiggle here. And then we're going to take that shoulder drop again. So I call this the 1990s boy band pose. Take a breath in, lift the chest. And then breathe out, drop the shoulder down. If you watch Backstreet Boys or 5 videos, I promise they do this in their videos. Big breath in and breath out, but they do it a little bit quicker than this. So unleash that inner Backstreet Boy. Come back to center. And then press into the feet. Come and stand all the way up. Shake that out. Good. And then we'll turn the toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Nice big breath in. Draw those kneecaps up with those thighs. And again, we take that hinge. Belly starts to come towards thighs. If you've got really tight hamstrings, bend the knees here, guys. And soften in. Now you might want to take movement again like you did last time. Maybe you just want to stay in stillness. Think about that nice long spine, so not rounding through the shoulders. And just take a few breaths to release from that little bit of work we've done on our glutes, thighs and hips. And from here, we're going to start to turn back that front foot. Turn those toes to face the top of your mat and step it back to downward facing dog. Last chance to have a little wiggle in our downward dog. Pressing the heels towards the ground, noticing how the hips and glutes are feeling now. And then to round off, just start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Bring the heels together, toes out and knees out wide. Forget the toes out bit, knees out. So we're coming into this little tiptoe squat. And from here, we're just going to walk the fingertips forward. Drop the bum down towards the floor. Take a little tuck of the chin. Enjoy a few deep breaths here. If this is just too much, you can sit down on your bum, take a butterfly leg variation. But if you can stay here, find softness in the shoulders. Keep pressing the heels towards each other. Let those knees open. We should be feeling quite a nice stretch towards the inner thighs. And then to come out, gently start to walk the hands back in. Knees come together, drop them down. And last little bit now, guys. Heels and toes together even. Knees out wide. Drop the bum down towards the heels. Walk the hands out in front. And soften your forehead down as you find your child's pose. Taking a few breaths here, lengthening through the side of your body. Noticing how the hips are feeling. And just take a moment to thank yourself for carving out this little bit of time to work on your hips and your glutes today. And this is where we're going to end our movement mini. Thank you so much for joining me.